Rage of Discord. Return to the ancient castle. Bon Bon stomped her hooves loudly after the duel. She easily caught on to a few things that were happening and greatly enjoyed how the game played out. Even though Twilight lost, she could tell that she gave it her all. All the partying and excitement had begun to wear her out, though, and she decided to head home. She walked along the dirt road, happily humming a tune that she seemed to hear every so often that came from nowhere in particular. After a few minutes of walking and humming, Bon Bon reached her house and opened the door. Sitting on the sofa in that unusual posture of hers was Lyra. Bon Bon blinked. Lyra looked up at her. It all suddenly rushed back to her.
"Lyra!"
she cried.
"Oh goodness, I can't believe I forgot that we were gonna meet at the party. Hey, were you there? Did you see what the new guy in Twilight did? It was some kind of a game, but it was a mess. Lyra? Are you okay?"
Lyra slid off the sofa onto her back hooves.
"Do you remember,"
she said,
"when we were fillies? Back in school?"
Her voice trailed off. A flash. Bon Bon remembered.
"Of course,"
she said.
"We were so close back then,"
said Lyra, still standing on only her hind legs, her front legs dangling beside her.
"Weren't we, Bon Bon?"
"We're still close," replied Bon Bon. But doubt suddenly appeared in her expression.
"Aren't we?"
"You forgot," answered Lyra, her horn glowing a bright blue, "that we would meet today." Bon Bon stood transfixed. A moment later, her vision faded. Yusei quickly dismounted his D-wheel and took off his helmet before running over to the tree that Rainbow Dash had flown into. He heard faint groans coming from the leaves, but he couldn't see the Pegasus.
"Dash!"
he called.
"You okay?"
"Yeah," she answered.
Whoa. Wag!"
Dash suddenly fell out of the tree and landed with a loud thud.
"Fine,"
she finished before blowing her mane out of her eyes. Yusei knelt down and offered her his hand. She placed a hoof in his palm and he pulled her up. The visor that Twilight had made for her fell out of the tree and hit the ground. Several cracks appeared in the glass and it vanished.
"What happened to it?"
asked Dash.
"Objects made of pure magic act solid, but have to stay that way,"
said Twilight.
"If even the tiniest fracture appears in it, the magical framework will fall apart."
Dash looked at her in confusion. Twilight sighed.
"If it breaks even a little bit, it can't hold itself together. That's how magic works."
"Oh," said Dash.
No worries. The game was fun, you say, but I still say nothing beats a good race."
Yusei gave her a smile.
"To each their own, I guess,"
he said with a chuckle. Yusei stood up and looked around. The sun was approaching the horizon and the town was bathed in a deep orange.
"It's getting late,"
Yusei observed.
"If I don't do whatever the Crimson Dragon brought me here to do soon, I may need to find some place to stay the night." "You can stay in the library with me if you need to,"
said Twilight.
"Thanks,"
said Yusei. Suddenly there was a bright flash of light. Yusei covered his eyes with his arm, but the light faded quickly. Before him stood a winged unicorn as tall as he was. Her long, chromatic mane and tail flowed as if a gentle breeze was blowing. She gave off an air of gentle authority.
Princess Celestia,
said Twilight Sparkle. Her friends gave a quick bow to the alicorn. Twilight herself ran up to the new arrival.
Hello, my faithful student,
said the princess.
It's good to see you again. But I'm afraid we don't have time to chat. I am here because Equestria needs your help once again. Anything, princess,
said Twilight.
What's happened? Discord has broken free once more,
Celestia explained.
And I fear he has something to do with the ponies that have been disappearing all over the land. Ponies disappearing?
asked Twilight.
Not just from Equestria, but from the memories of every pony who knew them as well,
Celestia added.
Many ponies in Canterlot have come to me about this, including Fancy Pants and Spitfire of the Wonderbolts. Why would Spitfire ask you for help about this?
asked Rainbow Dash.
She says she feels like they've forgotten someone,
answered Celestia.
Though she knows the Wonderbolts only have 4 members, she feels. Wait, 4? Since when?
Dash interrupted.
There are 11 ponies on the Wonderbolts. Then this is worse than I feared,
said Celestia.
It seems that I am affected by this as well. However, you 6 seem to be safe as you are the bearers of harmony. Did you bring the elements of harmony with you?
asked Twilight.
Oh, that I could have, Twilight. But Discord must have stolen them again, as they were not in the vault. Excuse me,
said Yusei,
but who's Discord?
Celestia looked up at him.
Discord is the spirit of chaos and disharmony in this world,
Celestia said.
But who, may I ask, are you? And how did you get here? I'm Yusei Fudo,
replied Yusei.
I was brought here by the Crimson Dragon. I don't know why, but I have a feeling this has something to do with it. So please, let me help in any way that I can. Thank you, Yusei,
said Celestia.
If you and this Crimson Dragon you speak of can help, then we'd be glad for it.
Yusei nodded.
So Discord stole the elements,
said Twilight.
Do we know where he is now? Right above you,
came a voice. The 7 ponies and Yusei looked up to see a strange, mismatched creature floating over them. Its form was comprised of several different animal parts, including a lion's paw, an eagle's claw, the hind leg of a lizard and of a goat, and the head of a horse. One long fang jutted down from his upper jaw. His tail was long and green like a snake. On his back were 2 different wings, one feathered like a Pegasus, and one leathery bat wing. Atop his head were 2 different horns, a deer antler on the right and a goat's horn on the left. He grinned down at the ponies, glaring at them with 2 differently sized pupils.
Hello, my little ponies,
he said in a sing-song voice.
Did you miss me? No way!
shouted Dash.
After all the trouble you caused? Why would anyone miss you? Discord, are you behind the disappearing ponies?
Celestia demanded.
Maybe I am, maybe I'm not,
said Discord, staring idly at his claws.
First things first though.
He disappeared in a flash of white light, then reappeared in front of Yusei with another flash. Yusei, surprised, took a step back.
Who's your friend?
asked Discord.
Yusei,
replied the human.
I'm guessing you're the reason I was brought here. I wouldn't know,
replied Discord as he floated away.
I don't even know where you're from. Not that I care right now. I have business with the four-legged ones. Where are the elements of harmony, discord?
Twilight demanded.
Tell us now. Or what, Twilight Sparkle?
Laughed the Draconequus.
You and I both know that without the elements you're no match for me. But I'll give you a hint as to where they are.
There was a pause. Silence fell over the street as Discord hovered in place, perfectly still and grinning wickedly.
Are you gonna tell us, or what?
Said Applejack in an annoyed tone.
Just a moment,
said Discord. Another pause. Then,
okay, I'll tell you now. The elements are hidden in the first house of chaos. Why make us wait to hear it?
Asked Twilight.
Just to make you wait,
Discord replied. The others groaned and Discord laughed.
I lied. That was why I made you wait. Just to annoy us.
Snapped Twilight.
Yes. Jerk. Bookworm. Monster.
Anger flashed across Discord's face. He flew down and smacked Twilight with the back of his lion paw, knocking her to the ground.
Twilight!
Shouted the other ponies as they ran to her side.
Are you okay?
Asked Spike.
I'm fine,
said Twilight, standing up and rubbing her cheek with her hoof.
Don't call me a monster,
huffed Discord.
If you want the elements, then come find me at the first house of chaos.
With that, he snapped his fingers and vanished.
The first house of chaos,
said Twilight.
I have no idea what that means. I do,
said Celestia.
He is referring to Old Castle, the place where you found the elements of harmony, within the Everfree Forest. It was where Discord sat on his throne during his first reign, and it is where I ruled after his imprisonment. But why did you and Luna abandon it?
Asked Twilight.
Who?
Said Celestia. A puzzled look clouded her visage.
Your sister, Luna,
said Twilight.
Oh no. You don't remember, do you? I had a sister,
said Celestia.
She must have disappeared like the others. If you remember her and I do not, then...
She suddenly became very angry.
We must stop Discord at all costs. Girls, I'm going with you. This is not just between you six and him anymore, he's taken my sister away from me.
Celestia turned and began to run, then jumped into the air and spread her wings. Rainbow Dash and Fluttershy followed her into the sky. Spike quickly grabbed Twilight's bag from inside and stuffed her dual disc into it and threw the bag over her back.
I don't think we'll be needing that, Spike,
said Twilight.
Well, you told me that Discord likes games, right?
Said Spike.
Maybe we can get him to play a game of Duel Monsters with Yusei. You might be right, Spike.
Said Twilight. She picked up Spike with her magic and put him on her back.
All right, let's go. You coming, Yusei?
Yusei had put his helmet back on and was now sitting on his D-wheel.
Right behind you,
he said, revving his engine. Twilight nodded and she and the others galloped off. Yusei sped off after them. The path to the castle had been a perilous one, but Yusei's reflexes were quick and he was able to bypass much of the danger. Once they reached the rickety old bridge that led to the castle, however, he had to leave his D-wheel behind. Detaching his dual disc and concealing the motorcycle in the bushes, he and the others carefully crossed the bridge.
"This place is just as spooky as ever,"
commented Applejack.
"You've been here before?"
Yusei asked, taking each step slowly and gripping the ropes to his sides tightly.
"Yes, once,"
said Rarity.
"It was dreadful the first time around, and it's dreadful now. But it all worked out in the end,"
said Fluttershy.
"That it did, Fluttershy,"
said Twilight.
"We found the elements of harmony and defeated Nightmare Moon." "Nightmare Moon?"
repeated Yusei. The ponies had reached the other side of the bridge by that point.
"Princess Celestia's sister had turned into Nightmare Moon when she became jealous of her sister,"
Twilight explained.
"The two of them are responsible for raising the sun and the moon respectively, but ponies sleep during the night and Princess Luna became bitter over that, and she refused to lower the moon and tried to make the night last forever. She just wanted others to enjoy the night like they enjoyed the day,"
Twilight said with a sigh.
"But she didn't realize that so many bad things could have happened. Plants all over Equestria would die. Crops would fail without sunlight, winter would be the worst in history. Every pony would die. Her mission was self-defeating."
Twilight shook her head sadly.
"So what happened when you beat her with the elements of harmony?"
Yusei asked.
"She turned back into her old self,"
said Twilight.
"Everyone forgave her after that, even Princess Celestia." "Well, we're here,"
said Applejack.
"Yeah. Let's find Discord and beat that big Meena Pants,"
said Pinkie enthusiastically.
"But first, do you think we can get him to make it rain chocolate milk again?" "Chocolate milk?"
Yusei said, confused.
"He's the spirit of chaos," said
Twilight.
"When Discord's around, nothing works the way it should." "Ah!"
Princess Celestia had remained quiet the whole time. She stood completely motionless, save for her flowing mane and tail, staring up at the ruined castle. Night had finally fallen on Equestria, but there was no moon to be seen. Only the stars decorated the blackness.
"It's been so long,"
said Celestia.
"Let's go."
With that, she started to move inside. The corridors were pitch black. Celestia, Twilight, and Rarity lit the way with their horns, but Yusei still stumbled every now and again. Celestia never faltered and never stopped, as if she knew the way perfectly.
"Twilight, this place GG gives me the creeps,"
said Spike, shivering from the cold and fear.
"Don't worry, Spike,"
said Twilight.
"I think we're almost to the room where we first found the elements." "That we are, Twilight,"
said Celestia.
"Though I must say that it surprises me." "Why's that, Your Highness?"
asked Yusei. Then, with the light from Celestia's horn, he saw the hallway open up into a wide room with a fountain-like stone structure in the middle.
"Because Discord loves to cause chaos and confusion," she answered. "I thought for sure that he might try to warp our path to this room and prevent us from reaching it." "Oh, my dearest Celestia,"
came the voice of Discord,
"how naive you are! If there's one thing that is consistent about me—"
There was a flash and Discord stood with perfect balance on the moss-covered sphere atop the stone sculpture. His arms were crossed in front of his chest. Two black capes flowed behind him in a way much like Celestia's mane. A black spiral wrapped its way around his goat horn and a black stripe swept down from his right shoulder around his body and several more times around his green tail, covering the top in a black spike. The smaller pupil of his left eye had also changed color and was now a pale blue. He sneered down at the princess.
"It's that I'm inconsistent. Besides," he continued, "I built this place and I liked it just the way it was, even better now, since it looks like it was blasted half to smithereens. I'm curious, whatever happened to my beloved old home?" "There was a battle," said Celestia. "After that, I could no longer bear to live in this place, so I founded New Canterlot in the mountains." "New Canterlot?" repeated Twilight. "Then this place is—" "Yes, Twilight," answered Celestia. "This place is the original Canterlot Castle." "A battle, hey?" said Discord. He jumped down from his perch and landed with incredible grace. He stood up and again grinned darkly at Celestia. "What kind of battle? Who was your foe?" "Nightmare Moon," said Celestia quickly. Discord gave a short laugh and Celestia stepped back. "Nightmare Moon? Your sister, I believe," said Discord. "If the old legends are true, that is. Tell me, what was her name?" Celestia was taken aback. She stuttered and tried to say something, but could not. "You've forgotten, haven't you?" said Discord. "First you imprison her on the moon for 1,000 years instead of freeing her from the darkness that changed her, and now you forget who she is, despite the supposed bond you two shared." Tears welled up in her eyes. She screwed her eyes shut and began to weep. "How could I?" she said between sobs. How could I forget?" The 6 ponies and Spike just looked on. Yusei knew that they wanted to do something for her. "Princess," said Twilight, "we still remember your sister's name. It's—" "No, Twilight," sniffed Celestia. I don't deserve to remember." She continued to sob. Even as she did, Celestia heard a voice. It was soft and deep and naive and regal all at once. "How could you forget me, big sister?" Celestia cried harder. "I'm sorry. I'm sorry," she said over and over. "I'm so sorry, sister. You're horrible for forgetting me." "Please don't say that!" cried the princess. "I know I am, but please don't say it." "Princess, who are you talking to?" asked Twilight. Celestia did not answer and only continued to sob. Suddenly, she stopped. A hand rested on her neck. She looked to her left and saw Yusei. "I don't know her name either," he said. That's because you weren't here," said Celestia. "That doesn't matter," he said. "It's not your fault that you forgot. It's Discord's. We'll beat him and get your sister back. You forgave her for trying to make the night eternal, when you knew the horrible things that would have happened because of it. If you really feel like this is something to forgive, then she'll forgive you. But you know what?" Celestia sniffed and wiped her eyes with her hoof. "I think she'll say that there's nothing to forgive," said Yusei with a smile. You're right, Yusei," said Celestia, sniffing once more. "Thank you." Discord snorted. "Forgiveness? An imagined sentiment if you ask me. Well, no pony asked you.
Snapped Rainbow Dash.
Give us back the elements, Discord,
said Twilight.
Why? So you can imprison me in stone again.
Discord growled.
You called me a monster earlier, Twilight Sparkle. But look at you. Whatever cannot live within the confines of your ideological harmony is imprisoned and banished. You are unreceptive and unwelcoming. I say that you ponies are the monsters. That's enough, Discord,
said Yusei. Discord turned to him and grinned.
Ah, Yusei, our little... whatever you are.
Discord teleported behind Yusei.
You might not be so quick to stand up for your friends if you knew what they'd done to me. Whatever they did, I promise you I've seen worse,
Yusei replied.
They turned me into stone,
roared the Draconequus.
A man who worked with my father destroyed an entire city while under the influence of pure evil,
said Yusei.
They rejected me. Left me alone in their gardens as a mere ornament because I was different. A friend of mine tried to kill someone and was tortured by law officers because of it. Then he tried to get revenge on me for his imprisonment and abuse. Then perhaps you know what it's like to be blamed for something that is hardly your fault,
said Discord.
What do you mean?
Yusei asked. Discord did not answer. Instead, he walked past Yusei, the two capes billowing behind him.
Discord, why are you wearing that? And why has your eye changed?
Discord turned back to Yusei.
I have a new ally,
he said.
One who hasn't rejected me like you ponies have.
He pointed angrily at the pastel equines and glared at them.
Discord, what did you do with the missing ponies?
Yusei asked.
I took them to a place where they can be at peace,
Discord answered.
Would you like to see?
The world around them changed. Yusei and the others saw a black, murky water all around them, but found that they could breathe, as if none of it was there. But the pressure was there. They could feel it, pressing against them, making it hard to draw breath. Yusei looked around. There were dark shapes all around him, shapes of ponies, pegasi, and unicorns.
Why aren't they moving?
Asked Yusei. Worry clouded his features.
They're not dead, if that's what you're thinking,
said Discord.
They've simply given up. Given up? Yes. These ponies have realized the futility of their own lives. Their hopes and dreams, all for nothing. Here, they are confronted with this fact, watching their dreams as they end in pieces over and over until they realize the truth. Here, they give up on themselves. And it is then, when they have relinquished everything, that they truly become free.
The dark world around them slowly disappeared and Yusei and the others found themselves once again in the dark chamber with the stone sculpture in the center.
How can you call that freedom?
Shouted Yusei.
That's nothing but a nightmare. But it doesn't end there,
Yusei, said Discord.
Once they have let go of their individuality, they become as one. All their hopes and fears, all their joy and sorrow, their love and despair, melt together. They are all one, and they are all none. It is the ultimate peace.
Discord snorted and teleported onto one of the arms of the stone sculpture, reappearing sitting atop the arm with his goat leg pulled up in front of him and his lizard leg dangling off the edge.
I've learned a great truth, Yusei,
Discord continued.
Individuality is the true cause of suffering, and harmony can only exist by sacrificing that individuality. That's not true,
Yusei countered.
Harmony exists when everyone chooses to live at peace with each other, not by throwing away who they are. Then why am I rejected time and again?
Roared Discord.
Why is it that these ponies could never accept me? Because I am too different from them and they are too like each other. That is why. So I am giving them exactly what they want, you say. I am giving them their precious harmony by showing them the only way it can exist. We're not gonna let you do this, Discord,
said Twilight.
And how are you going to stop me without the elements of harmony? Maybe they can't stop you, but I bet I can,
said Yusei. Discord laughed.
You? With what? That silly card game you and Twilight were playing earlier.
Discord continued to laugh at Yusei, but stopped when he saw that Yusei was smiling too.
What's the matter, Discord? Afraid you'll lose?
Yusei taunted.
Not in the slightest,
said Discord.
Then let's duel, Discord,
said Yusei.
If I win, then you return the elements of harmony to the bearers. Fine by me, but there's an extra twist,
he said.
One pony will be chosen for each of us. Our favorite ponies. As our life points go down, that pony will slowly be turned to stone.
Yusei heard several of the ponies gasp.
Discord, I thought you didn't turn ponies into stone,
said Celestia.
Oh, my lovely princess, don't you remember what I said when you got here?
He mused.
If there's one thing consistent about me, it's that I'm inconsistent.
He snapped his fingers and Twilight disappeared. Spike and the saddlebag flopped to the ground. Twilight reappeared above Discord, her hind legs bound together by black metal and her forelegs flung out to her sides. Rainbow Dash appeared above Yusei, pinned the same way.
Hey! Let me go!
said Dash as she struggled against her binds.
Twilight!
cried Spike.
It seems that Twilight is my little pony,
laughed Discord.
No way!
shouted Spike. The mismatched creature looked at him curiously.
No way am I gonna let you do that to Twilight!
Fire burned in Spike's eyes and his pupils became little more than black slits. His entire body erupted into green fire as he roared.
Spike!
cried Twilight.
Spike!
The fire soon died down, but Spike now stood as tall as Princess Celestia. His arms and tail had grown much larger and his eyes were fierce and thin. Spike reached into Twilight's bag and pulled out her dual disc, strapping it to his arm. The ponies just stared in slack-jawed amazement. Then Spike spoke, though his voice was deeper.
If you wanna hurt Twilight, then you're gonna have to go through me!
He shouted.
I don't think you get it, you foolish dragon,
said Discord.
If I lose, then Twilight Sparkle will sparkle no more. Then there's no way we're doing this,
said Yusei.
Let the ponies go and just fight me. You don't have much of a choice, Yusei,
Discord snapped.
If you refuse this duel, you'll never recover the elements of harmony, and every thinking creature in the land will be taken into that dark world. We don't have a choice in this,
Yusei, said Spike.
We'll just have to figure out a way to win. And if Twilight does get turned to stone, maybe the elements can change her back. And if they can't?
asked Yusei.
Then I'll tear Discord limb from mismatched limb,
hissed Spike.
The duel will be a three-way battle royal,"
announced Discord.
"No pony may attack on the first turn, and the duel will start with me as I am at a disadvantage."
A dual disc with appeared on Discord's right arm. The body was black and had jagged blue-tipped spikes all over it. The arm of the dual disc was smooth and leathery like Discord's bat wing. Yusei and Spike's dual discs began to glow as they activated. The three of them cried out at once, "Duel!"